Suave.
I've been in my bag for a while, I'm invincible. Story of a young boss, grinding shit get critical. Calling on my bros one time, cause you special. I had some hoop dreams of right rounds for my mentor. Every target that I shoot is on point like a pencil. Different road, changed relationships, I'm so sorry. Came up from the trenches and I made it, I say hardly. Now
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here. Alrighty, guys, we are back with another episode of the What's in Your Bag podcast presented by Bet Online. I'm your host, Andrew Robinson, and as you can see, guys, we are back with another special guest. But before we introduce our guest for today, man, we know we got to get the nitty-gritty out of the way, man. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and stop what you're doing. Subscribe, tap that like button, give us a thumbs up. It goes a long way in getting this podcast out to the people who need to hear it. If you're hearing this on Spotify, Apple, go ahead and give us some feedback. Drop a comment, follow the show, tell a friend to tell a friend. It goes a long way. And getting the word out about the What's in Your Bag podcast, man. That was my guy, Pull Up Tay, on the intro. It's going to be him as well in the outro. Make sure you guys are streaming his music, man. One of the hottest up-and-coming artists out of the DMV, straight out of Mo County. Make sure y'all show him some love, man, and run up my boy new tape also, man. But without further ado, like I said, we have a special guest, man. This is somebody who's also from Maryland, holding it down for the DMV. We always love having a DMV podcast, a DMV link up on the show. This is somebody who also I was familiar with from Japan. We also was out there hooping together in Japan. Somebody who's been well traveled around Europe, Denmark, France, and is getting ready to go to what this year? Year 8? Year 8 of the pro career?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. We are pleased to be joined by none other than the newest Osaka Evessa forward, Matt Bonds.
Appreciate you, Andrew. What's up, y'all? Podcast. Appreciate you having me, Andrew.
No doubt, man. Definitely looking forward to it, man. So, like I said, we're gonna get into the nitty gritty and the journey, and talk about all that, man. But first, man, I kind of want to catch up with you, man. What's the off season been like? I know it's a long season out there in Japan, but I know you're back home right now, man. So talk to us about just what you've been up to and what the off season has been like so far.
Yeah, it was a long season. We didn't make the playoffs, so we got to go home a little early. But still, the 60 games kind of puts a lot on your body. So it's just been about recovery, working and refining a little bit of skills, and staying in shape. Running, working out, doing that kind of stuff. But outside of that, it's really just been spending time with family, seeing moms, pops, brothers and sisters all back home.
Yeah.
And spending time with my wife. We moved into a house, kind of getting that together, trying to, piece that, move in, get everything situated. So that's been a little busy, but I can't complain, man. It's been a summer. It's been good to be home. It's always good to be home coming back from Japan because I feel like you'd be out there forever playing all them games. But yeah, that's really pretty much what the summer looks like. Staying ready.
Yes, sir. That's love. Now, first of all, man, I gotta say congrats on the new house, man. That's a big move. That's major.
Appreciate
about
you.
to go to be able to, purchase a house, man. But I feel like I want to ask because I feel like this is always something that, see, you in year 8, I'm only in year 4, man. So I got to get my notepad out and take notes from the vet. You know what I mean? How does that work when you purchase a house and obviously we plan overseas. We live 9 months out of the year. So do y'all plan on
Right.
leasing it for 9 months? Y'all about to have fans stay in that joint? What does that actually look like, man? Because it's tough. You're like, dang, you know what I mean? You got the crib, but you still got to pay the mortgage on that joint when you're gone.
For sure. That's the thing. That's the thing. Me and my wife we had gotten into not a debate, but just trying to figure out what we're gonna do with the crib because it's you want to invest and you want to kind of make your money work for you or stagger some roots. And you can do that with a house, buying a house. But like you said, we overseas for so long. Or you can get the investment property kind of start getting that going. But me and my wife, we kind of decided, we wanted to really establish our roots. We found something we really liked. We had enough money to get it. Situation was right, so we said, why not now? Got that crib, and we just planning on using it, for when we come back, have some stability, have somewhere to live, and we don't want nobody else living in it while we're gone. So we just gonna have to, probably shut it down. We got family close to kind of check on it and kind of stop in and, kind of make it look like somebody, still staying in there. But yeah, we didn't want to kind of rent it out while we were gone because it's just like, you got somebody sleeping in your bed, using your kitchen of your home that you plan on staying on for like staying in for, a long period of time.
Yeah.
So for this house, hopefully, I can down the line get another place for, investment purposes. But this one is strictly for me and her and, for our family that's coming. So, but still an investment property, put your money into somewhere. That's what we saw in the long run was, making our money work for us, kind of getting some equity.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough, man. That's a major move. Like I said, congrats to y'all on that. And
Appreciate you.
like I said, back in good old PG County, back in the crib, man. That's all we'd love to be able to establish a root. You know what I mean? Have something to look forward to. That's the thing, bro. People don't understand when you overseas, it's like some people, it's like whether you staying at the folks' crib, you got to come home like,
Right.
damn, get an apartment. Am I about to just lease something for like 2-3 months?
Right.
It's a huge monkey off the back to be able to have that peace of mind, to have your own crib. I know it's gonna be there. I know where all my stuff is at. You know what I mean? No,
Man.
I'm paying a storage unit every month. Every month I'm paying
Yeah.
all my stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Treacherous, treacherous.
That's the thing. Yeah. And especially in the DMV area coming back, if you want to stay somewhere kind of close to the city or in the city, you're gonna be paying, especially on a short term lease.
Yeah,
So that stability, that knowing where your stuff is, kind of having, like you said, that foundation is everything. So we're grateful.
that's tough, man. Now,
Mm.
obviously, right now we're getting into the pre-Olympic stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if you've been watching that at all.
Uh,
USA doing their thing. What's your thoughts, man, heading into the Olympics? I feel like it's crazy too because playing overseas, you get like all this, I feel like I played in Japan for like a year and a half. I feel like almost like allegiance to like root for Japan. You know what I mean? I know they got Josh Hawkinson, they got him naturalized on the Olympic team. Also, they
nah,
got Rui
yeah,
out there. Utah Watanabe. We're gonna talk about that too, bro. Coming to the B League. That's gonna be bump
yeah,
next year.
that's
But
gonna be sweet.
what's,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on the Olympics, man? Team USA obviously out here. They got the Monstars assembled.
Uh,
What's that been like? Just watching and what are you looking forward to with the Olympics this year?
it's cool to watch because at first, I mean, seeing Team USA with all the stars kind of put together on the same team, which is always cool to see, and then playing a different style of basketball, like FIBA basketball is different. So it's good to pick up, just watch and pick up little things, see how they kind of moving in that. But yeah, it's funny when Japan, because you do feel like a certain allegiance, especially me. I've been over here for 5 years, Japan for 5 years now. So most of the guys I've either played against, known, or played with. So it's like you kind of root for them naturally. But I'm excited to see what they do in the tournament too, because I mean, they play together and they play with a certain style and intensity that I think the other teams don't expect, along with the 3-point shooting. So I think it's gonna be exciting. And playing with Baba last year, Udai, I really want to see him do well and him get on the national stage. See a lot of them get on the national stage. But yeah, it's hoops too. So it's just like it's good to see a lot of these teams go out there and compete.
Yeah. Nah, I feel like and Japan surprised a lot of folks in the World Cup. They won a bunch of games out there. They even
Yeah,
were able to get the automatic qualifier. And I feel like people be sleeping on Japan, bro. You know what I mean? Like not
they
only
do. They
just
do.
Japan but like the Japanese players. Bro, it's some good basketball out there. You know what I mean? Especially at
Yeah,
that level, at the Olympic level. You know what I mean? You got guys like
for sure.
Tagashi who played in the States. They got my boy Keisei
Mhm.
Tominaga out there who was torching the Big Ten this year. Lefty
Yeah,
crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
obviously,
going
you got the
crazy.
NBA guys, Rui and Yuta Watanabe. Like,
You know what I mean? It's high
Mhm.
level players out there. I feel like people be sleeping, act like Japan is
Yeah,
like out there. It's like, nah, like don't be surprised they go out there and get a dub. Don't be surprised.
yeah, it's some bump. It's some bump. They got some bump for real.
Now, I want to ask you, because like you said, you've been in Japan for what, this is about to be your 5th year. But you get into
Mhm.
year 8. Would there be something that you ever think about doing, trying to get naturalized and maybe have opportunity to play for Japan? Like how do you feel about that? Because I think, for someone who's been there for so long, you're playing at obviously a super high level out there in the B1 now. You never know, man. They could come knocking on your door, man, if you do decide to get that passport. You know what I mean? How do you feel about that?
Right. That's the thing, if the opportunity presents itself and it makes sense, then I think it's something I'll do. It's not something I'm like keen, like being forceful on, but I'm just really trying to just trust God because that's a big commitment is, doing the naturalization and it's a long process, a lot of things that go into it.
Yeah,
But it's certain things you gotta do to qualify, being over here a certain amount of time and making sure these dates line up and all this kind of stuff. So it's a lot of little things to qualify, but I think I'm almost there because I have been here for 5 years, but then they had the COVID year and all that kind of stuff. So certain the amount of time you've actually been in Japan matters.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, if the opportunity presents itself, I think it was something I would be open to doing because I mean Japan's a great country, uh, uh, great place to be, and wouldn't have no problem representing, and of course, playing on an Olympic level or playing on even on a World Cup or any other the qualifiers, any of that. So would be kind of cool experience. But also being able to extend my career a little bit longer in Japan if you
yeah,
do that naturalization. So if the opportunity presents itself, and I feel like with a team, it's a little bit easier to kind of get through that. But yeah, you never know. So I'm just letting it play out.
yeah. Now, how is your Japanese? Man, people ask me that all the time. You speak Japanese? You be up there
Uh,
what's the Japanese like, man? Can you hold your own in the
it's
conversation?
it's pretty good. It's hard because over the summer is when it's like you kind of lose a little bit. You kind
Yeah,
of got to study a little bit to stay on top. But I can hold my own in the introductory conversation. But once we start getting really like to the nitty gritty and like really holding the conversation, it's kind of it gets bad, but it's tough. I mean, I commend anyone who's been able to learn it really well because I've been over there for a while and it's not easy. Even if I've been there for a long time and hearing it all the time.
yeah, yeah, man. That's a fact. It's definitely not easy, man. Like I said, I want to get into your journey, but last question I want to ask before we kind of come back to Japan a little bit later is, what are your thoughts on Utah coming to Japan next year? Man, obviously retiring from the NBA, that's huge for the league. You know what I mean? But I kind of want to get your
Yeah,
thoughts on that.
yeah, I think it's huge for the league, like you said, and like the league is already advancing at a super fast pace. More arenas, bigger time players. The level and the competitiveness is raising obviously with the players coming. But him coming, I think is big, showing just the where the level is going, and for him to be able to come and really want to compete and try to win, I think it's going to raise the level of all the teams around in Japan. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun to play against him. I mean, test just put our skills to the test and ultimately, though, it's just great. I think for Japanese basketball because having one of your biggest, if not top two biggest players to come out of the country, come back and play for your country, kind of like Udai did last year. He came back, played for the country, and I think it brings a lot of attention and awareness and it helps contribute to raising that level. So he definitely gonna have people coming at him and he gonna be going to other guys, trying to show that, hey, like this is still smoke over here, or it ain't gonna be as easy. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing that, man. I can't wait to tune in and see
Yeah,
what you do, man. But like I mentioned, man, I wanna pivot a little bit and just talk about, your journey through hoops, man. Take us back to the beginning. You mentioned obviously growing up in the DMV area. I feel like you are one of them dudes who, and which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on the pod, man, is like I feel like your career has gone under the radar. You know what I mean? Coming from the
for
DMV,
sure.
North Point, not really like a highly touted school, but you were able to make it obviously from through Division II ranks, in the professional basketball, man. Now you're playing at super high level in Japan, man. So take me back to the beginning, growing up in the DMV, what those early days were like, getting introduced to basketball and kind of, what that experience was like, because coming up, trying to make it out of the area.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I was definitely kind of under the radar and always just like kind of low key with in this area because this area got so much talent. I mean, at that time we had Quinn Cook, you got Jeremy Grant, you got Oladipo, Josh Hart. I mean, you got a lot of guys in this area. Keel Carr. I mean, so many guys in this area. And mostly the private schools, concerning when we got to high school. But even in the AAU ranks, I mean, coming up in 8th and 9th grade, just so many good players in this area. So, but yeah, I started playing basketball real young, always outside, really, just for fun. With my brothers, I had two brothers, so we would always just be outside every day, just playing, shooting, playing 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, four, like just at the parks and all that kind of stuff outside. So and that kind of, I guess, I feel like that built a lot of who I am today, of just kind of playing scrappy, playing hard, just from playing outside most of the time when I was younger. So then I got into AAU kind of a little late. Started out with DC Assault around 8th grade, 9th grade, which is kind of late concerning, like real organized high level basketball.
Yeah.
But that was a great experience for me, kind of refining my skills and gaining more skills and playing against higher level competition, especially around the country. And that kind of put me on that journey of growing as a player, realizing that basketball is something I really want to do. And just kind of also helping me stay out of trouble, stay focused, because in Maryland, and it's a lot you can kind of get into, or being outside, being around fellas, like having that freedom. It's a lot you can kind of get into, some good and some bad, of course, in the area. But it put me on a path of just understanding, like, if I want something, if I want to be good, if I want to get to the level of these players, I have to work. I have to, I have to put in the work. I have to be in the gym. I have to be focused. I have to miss certain things. So I think that was a real important time in my life, because I was kind of not doing the greatest in school, not really trying to figure out what I want to do, and not really wanting to put my all into anything, but just kind of having a love of the game, and just realizing that love of the game, and realizing, that it's something I can do and be really good at. Kind of put me on that path, AAU, and kind of my high school coaches, Coach Eric Moses, Coach Ball up at North Point. They really helped me out with that. So that's how I kind of really got. Even then, I was kind of under the radar. I wasn't always the tallest guy. I was about 6'1", 6'2", but I was playing like, they had me playing like the 3, 4, 5. I was playing really pretty much anything, everything at that time. But then as high school kind of came around, and at North Point, we weren't big at all. I grew to about 6'3", about 6'3", 6'4", and I was about one of the tallest guys. So I was playing like the 4 or 5, but we kind of played small ball, so it was good. We played fast. I was able to pick up, little tricks playing without the ball, out hustling my man, outworking my man. Not just depending on one-on-one skills and all that kind of stuff, playing down low, playing a little bit outside. So I was able to kind of, play different styles, play different roles on different teams, not always being the number one guy. And it kind of, I feel like those lessons and those experiences really helped me kind of growing up today, and playing today in my professional career. Not being a guy or having to play within a system a different type of system. So yeah, I mean, that's really what kind of shaped and molded me. I never minded being under the radar or kind of the underdog or undersized. Um, I just kind of really enjoyed the game and really have fun with it and really wanted to work hard and just kind of prove myself, not really worrying about prove myself kind of to myself, kind of playing against myself, not really worrying about what someone ranking had or who this person was. You know, if we playing Jeremy Grant or a big time player, like it's basketball and we playing basketball. So I want to show my skills, show what I've been working on. So it don't matter what everyone else is saying or what the rankings or who you are saying. So I always found I found myself being comfortable with not being the lead man or being out there so much. So I still enjoy that. It's a little harder, now being on the highest level in Japan. But it's still I try to stay humble and just kind of try to stay grounded and keep learning, so that I can continue to improve as a basketball player and just continue my journey. Still on a basketball journey and still loving it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you were able to win a state championship with North Point in 2013 with my guy Marquise Wright, and
Yes, sir.
the year you guys beat Patterson. Or who
Yeah,
y'all?
that was the year we beat Patterson
Yeah. Now,
in
for
the final.
context, for people on the show who are listening to this, who might not be familiar, man, Patterson had a guy by the name of Akil Carr, who, aka the Crime Stopper, and anybody on DMV or
So,
Baltimore, y'all familiar with this man. But if y'all don't know who Akil Carr is on this podcast, go ahead and pause the podcast, go on Hoop Mixtape, Ball His Life. He got probably one of the most viral high school mixtapes of all time. Top 5, top 10
for
ever.
sure.
Like real
For
high
sure.
school legend. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And so I was the class of 2014. So I was a year behind you guys.
Mm,
I went to Springbrook.
mm,
And so I remember watching like y'all win that. And I'm like, yo, like nobody's seen that coming at all. I'm like, yo, Patterson,
yeah.
about to, you know what I mean? And I had never even heard of North Point. Never heard of North Point. Like,
Right.
who North Point? Who the fuck? Like crazy. So
Yeah.
talk to me about that season, man. And obviously playing with Marquise Wright, who in his own right, obviously I played against in college. He was at Siena, who was in the same conference at
Mm,
Jack, man. Had an amazing professional career himself, play all over the world, Turkey, France, is doing this thing, man. Both of you guys coming from North Point, to see where you guys have gone now, it makes sense, why you guys won that game back in 2013. But I kind of want to talk to you, man, about what that season was like, what that game was like, and like y'all really put North Point on the map. I don't think they've won another state title since then.
no,
And
not at
yeah,
all.
like, it's crazy what y'all were able to do that year.
Yeah. And going 27-0. I mean, that's just crazy. I feel like in general, any sport to be undefeated, win a state championship is not easy. But on that team, I really wasn't even. I played, but I didn't play like I wasn't even in that rotation in that final in the state championship final. I was a sophomore, so kind of getting the experience of playing varsity. I was not a late bloomer, but I mean that team was really good. We had Marquise Wright, of course. I mean, I think one of the best point guards I've ever played with, if not the best. We had Naeem Muhammad. He with the Shepherd. Jarrell Simmons. He's still overseas now. He's in Turkey. Um, Playing, just led his team to the championship, moved them up to the top league. We had Devontae Thomas, a lot. I mean, the team was like stacked. So it was just a good experience for me to learn, to see the amount of work, the level you got to be at in practice in the game, the intensity you got to have just to kind of even be on that championship conversation in that kind of realm, because it starts there, like your habits, what you're doing in practice, how y'all doing in these regular games, these games where you're supposed to win, what's the team looking like. So those guys really taught me a lot about the work. But yeah, that season was I mean, it was crazy. 27-0. I mean, coming from a Southern Maryland school who nobody really knew about public school. We beat private schools at that time, Bishop O'Connell. We had Mello Trimble.
Follow.
Yeah, yeah, and then of course it killed Carl. Me at that time, he was like that man was on top of the world. YouTube was going crazy. The hoop mixtapes was going crazy, and we looking like oh this who we about to play, and we got nobody know us, nobody was expecting us to win. We just got to go do work. So I didn't even really play that much that game, but being in that atmosphere, and experiencing that, uh, being a part of that work that was put in to win that state championship for Southern Maryland. It was big. It meant a lot. And I mean, one of the best times of my basketball career because just doing something that special. My brother was on the team as well, doing something like that with my family. It meant everything. So, but yeah, Quill Card at that time, I mean, he was going crazy. It was fun. It was fun to play against him. He had like 26, but he shot like 20. He shot like 28 shots or something. But
You
we
got him up.
we held him. Yeah, we held him down for a good amount, but and got the win. So it was a cool experience, a blessing.
Yeah. Now, talk to me about your recruitment process. Obviously, you mentioned that was, your sophomore year, and obviously you go on. Did you guys end up playing, I think, Magruder the next year? Was that the next year when y'all lost?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. We
Yep.
lost. Nah, we lost the. It was the Magruder. I think we lost the. Roosevelt. We lost to Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. And then Magruder beat
We lost to
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jeez.
We
I
lost to
remember,
Roosevelt my junior and senior year, bro.
oh,
Like
both years.
in the semifinal, junior and senior year, they had I forgot brother name,
Taiwan Kenley.
but
Is
yeah,
that
but we
Taiwan Kenley and Malachi, that went the Holy Cross?
Malachi Richardson, yeah,
Yeah.
Malachi, yeah, but we couldn't. It's just something about that team, but we couldn't beat them. I mean, it
Rose
was
was
a
nice,
buzzer
man.
beater.
Rose was nice. They had it on.
Yeah, they was nice. Yeah, for sure. They was nice, but we was good too. But it was just our kryptonite. We couldn't get past them.
Yeah. So talk to me about how you ended up at St. Michael's. Like, what was that recruitment process like? Coming out of your senior year, like, was it, how did you end up selling on St. Michael's? Man, it's crazy small world because obviously this dude didn't coach you, but one of my college coaches at Quinnipiac, name is Eric Eaton, who's the head coach at St. Michael's now,
Mm,
up in the ND10. They just made a legendary run to the Sweet 16 this year, man. So
yeah,
St. Michael's, shout out to ND10, shout out Coach
for
Eaton.
sure.
That's my guy, man. He doing his thing up there, man. I was happy to see that, legendary run that they went on. But I kind of wanted to ask you, how you ended up there, and what was your recruitment process like coming out of high school?
Yeah, for sure. Shout out St. Mike's. I mean, they did something crazy this year. But yeah, I was actually committed to them my end of my junior year. So a little early, or beginning of my kind of like middle end of my junior year. Um, I went on a couple of visits. I was kind of getting a lot of D3 into my junior year. I was getting a lot of D3, D2 kind of interest. Then as I played my junior year, I started getting D2, kind of low D1 interest. I went on the unofficial to UMBC, was kind of talking to LIU, Brooklyn, like Sacred Heart, like St. Bonaventure, St. Bonaventure, teams like that. Um, and I was really, I mean, it kind of caught me off guard because I just love the game and I just love playing basketball and was having fun. Kind of thinking about college, but not even really thinking about it so much as in the basketball realm. Um, and so next thing you know, I'm getting pretty good offers, full ride offers from these D2s. And so I was like, if I'm getting a full ride offer, I really want to go to school. I want to kind of, go to college for free. So I committed. I went on a visit to Pace, official visit to Pace, and I really liked that. It was cool. But then I went to St. Mike's and Coach Mike Larkin, who recruited me, he made me feel really comfortable. Went to the school, it was really nice. Kind of had a good academic standing up there. And really, I was really thinking more about academics because I was like, I don't know where basketball is going to take me. So it was a good academic school. It's kind of I really wanted to get away from home, which I think about now. I kind of wish I would have stayed a little closer, but went up there and really liked it. Fell in love with the campus and the team, with their vision that they had, and ended up committing. And I played a really good senior season, and I had more D1s, kind of like yo, like what's up, like what's the word? But I'm like I'm already committed. I'm already signed. So that could have went a different way. You never know. But I think it worked out. It went the way it should. And the D2 level still has, I mean, super high level guys, high level basketball, and still taught me a lot. But it's interesting how the path could have went if waited a little bit longer or saw what else was out there. But St. Michael's definitely treated me right, and I'm glad I made that decision.
Yeah. Now I gotta ask you this because I read something online that said, obviously you guys went up to New England, to go to school up there in Vermont, and obviously it's very cold, snows a lot. And I heard your family is into snowboarding. And I heard your parents used to come up there and snowboard. And I heard you was into snowboarding too. So can you confirm that? Is that factual, man? And talk to me
For
about
sure.
the whole snowboarding thing, man. Because black folks like us, ain't too many of us that
Exactly.
know what I mean? So I gotta,
For
and from
sure.
Maryland, like we don't got no, it's not really a bunch of snowboarders in Maryland. So I gotta
Right.
hear more about that.
Yeah, nah, for sure. My parents, see, it's four of us. So I got two brothers and one sister. And my parents really wanted us to, we didn't have a lot. Like, we didn't have a lot of like clothes, shoes, and all that kind of stuff. We never had that, but our family really kind of wanted us to experience kind of different things, get out and go do different things. So we'll go on a cruise, we'll go skiing. And as we were young, like skiing just became like something that we really like enjoy, I guess, really, really loved from a young age. So we'll go to Pennsylvania, we'll go to up to Vermont sometimes. And as I got older, we'd go out west to like Colorado, Utah. And it just became like a yearly thing, like once a year, twice a year, we'll go skiing or go snowboarding. And kind of just fell in love with it from a young age. Started snowboarding like every year. And then it was like, man, like, it became normal. You'd be the only black people out there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a blast. Like you on a mountain, you snowboarding. I mean, just getting just that feeling. Like you just feel like it don't even feel real. You snowboarding down this huge mountain, it's just too much fun. So yeah, that's true. I didn't go while I was up there because of sports and all that, but I had been up to Vermont before to go snowboarding. So yeah, man, it's real. I'm thankful for my parents that had given us the opportunity.
That's crazy. So are you snowboarding? Like, have you snowboarded since then? Are you a little rusty? When's the last time you've been snowboarding? Because Japan
Well,
got
you
a bunch
never
of
look.
mountains that you could probably snowboard
Yeah,
out in Japan for real, if you really wanted to.
if I wanted to, but sometimes during the season, I don't be trying to risk it because you for sure can get hurt snowboarding easily.
Yeah.
But I haven't been since it's been like 4 or 5 years now. I haven't been since I've gone to Japan because the way the season go, all the games, you're so tired, so you don't really got time to snowboard. But my wife has gone. She went without me. She went to Yamagata and snowboarded by herself. So she's trying to get into it. She's trying to like kind of teach herself and learn. But I know you don't ever lose it. So once you get back, go back on the mountain, it's just like riding a bike. So I'm gonna try to get out there sometime, maybe soon. We'll
Yeah.
see if we got a break or I don't know if the team gonna let me, but
Yeah.
we gonna see.
That'd be love, man. I'll be
Yeah,
just seeing that. No cat, man.
yeah, for sure.
I never did that before, man. So I also read that when you were committing to St. Mike's, it was like obviously it's a long way from Maryland. You know what I mean? And your parents were
Mhm.
like, you know what, like if you go up here, like we're gonna make sure we come and see you. And I read that they came to every game in college, like
Every game,
even the
every
away.
game, bro. Away ones, away home. It's like 10 hour, 11 hour drive to Vermont,
Bro,
and they'll be up there.
unreal.
Unreal. And then we'll have like a Wednesday or Thursday game or something at home or away. They'll be at that one. I mean, everyone. I didn't have a game where I didn't have my mom, my dad. Like, and I can't even I can't even really. It's hard to really even conceptualize because the amount of driving. Sometimes they'll take the train. Sometimes they'll fly. Sometimes they'll drive. But just the sacrifice that they put in for me, I mean, it's no way to thank them or repay them enough. But they said they just really wanted to support me and really wanted to be there. Um, for me because this wasn't really expected or known. So I appreciate him so much. I love him so much. It was just I didn't believe it when they were saying it. Like it was like, yeah, if you go there, we're gonna come to the games, or they said something like that. And so I didn't really put much stock into it picking a school because I wouldn't have picked a school in Vermont so far away. I would have picked somewhere closer. But they meant it. They was about it, and I mean, they did it, and and they news started picking up about it. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, it's real. So it's a blessing. I couldn't believe it, but I'm thankful for that experience.
Man, that's an incredible blessing to have, man. I feel like if mom and dad are watching this, man, what did that mean to you, man? Just be able to have them at every game. If you could tell them anything now, man, just looking back on, I feel like when you are an adult and you driving yourself, you had that perspective, it's a little, you'd be like, yo, they was doing this. Like, oh my
Oh,
God.
for real.
How
No,
do you
for
reflect
real.
on that, man? And if they're hearing this, what would you want to tell them, about the dedication that they had during the college experience?
But I feel like I told them before how much I appreciate them. And we kind of had a conversation about it. But yeah, like you said, as you get older and you just realize the amount of work that kind of goes into something, like, you got your own schedule, your own thing you trying to do, but then to sacrifice that for someone else, like all that time, all that driving, food, just that whole process of traveling 10 hours, 11 hours, that's every week. It's like I told them. I mean, it don't even seem. I talked to them, and it don't even seem like possible. But I mean, just the love and it just shows the bond and the closeness that my family has. We're a really close knit family, and especially to my parents. I mean, I can't say thank you enough, or I can't, show my appreciation enough. But just to kind of pay it forward and look at it as a just you just learn from it, take from it, and just understand that if you want to do something, you can do it. If you want to sacrifice to somebody or give to somebody, it's nothing stopping you but you. So you can find a way to make it happen. And it showed me that, just caring for someone else, having that love for someone else. I haven't seen it really. They showed me a super high level, a way of doing it. I can't thank them enough. And if they watching it, they know I love them. They come over to Japan sometimes now too. They can't come to every game. They watch every game online, but they come over to Japan and try to see me play. But they're forever, I forever be appreciative and grateful because I know that's not even having a parent to come to one game or two games. It's not like it's not normal or it's not expected really, especially in the Black community, having two parents to come and be supporting you like that. So I'm just super grateful. I feel like it's helped me grow to who I am today.
Sure. Hey, listen, man. Even them watching every game, all them games you play in Japan, man, that's dedication right there. You know what I
All
mean? So,
right, and
shout
the
out to
time
them.
difference.
Man, time difference is crazy. Middle of the night, like
Yeah,
real
two,
ones,
3 a.m.
real ones. Man. Shout out to the ranks. If y'all watching this, man, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all
For
real
real,
ones for sure.
for real.
Oh, but you were able to have a legendary career, at St. Mike's, man. 1,500 points,
Mm-hmm.
1,100 rebounds. And I feel like even having a little bit more context, right? Talking about your high school career, talking about why you went to St. Mike's. It's easy to say, oh, I could have won Division One, and you know what I mean? Who knows what that would have looked like? But I tell kids nowadays that ask for advice, I'm like, yo, at the end of the day, you got to go where you're gonna play. You got to go where you really
Right,
want, where you're gonna have a big role. And it's like you leave as a 1,000 point, 1,000 rebound player and worked out. You give yourself an opportunity to have a major
right.
career, have experience. Talk about just your career at St. Mike's, man, being able to get on, obviously you came off the bench the first 2 years, but you played it a
Mm-hmm.
lot, all rookie team, and obviously by the time you were junior and senior, boom, you ready to hit the ground running. You know what I mean? So just talk about what that experience was like, actually being able to go to a school and play for 4 years, because a lot of people
Yeah,
chase that Division One dream, and yeah, you get to Division One, but you don't play, or you don't play until you're a junior,
right.
senior, and then it's like you know what I mean? So ain't no
Mm-hmm.
better than being able to look in their record books and like, hey man, look, I put up 1,500 points, 1,100
Right.
you know what I mean? You feel me? So talk about
Yeah.
that decision, man, and how you reflect on it, in hindsight.
I think you said it in the beginning. Go where you want it and go where you gonna play. I think that was a big thing for me because, of course, loving the game and just loving to play. I was like, I want to play. I don't want to go somewhere just because it got this cross my chest, this name. I get to be on this team, but not really playing, not really being out there ready to compete. So I want to do that right away. I felt like I could do that at St. Mike's. It was kind of up and down journey because I was like, man, I want to be starting. I want to be playing. I had the guy Mike Thompson. He was a junior, about to be a senior, going to be a senior, and I learned a lot. I think in the situation, wanting to start, wanting to be kind of like the main focus or feeling like you've worked and you're at that level. But then coming to college as a freshman, you got juniors, you got seniors. These guys they've been putting in the work before you, and they feel like it's their time now. So, but that all raised our level of competition and work, and we kind of made each other better, iron sharpens iron. So yeah, it was interesting coming off the bench, not playing like I felt like I should have more minutes, always wanted more minutes, but just kind of doing my role on the team. And we had a good team the first 2 years. We didn't make the NCAA tournament, but we did pretty good for St. Mike's at that time. But yeah, it was just about wanting to win, wanting to have fun playing basketball, but ultimately winning. So sometimes you got to make sacrifices. You got to work behind somebody, or you have to work next to somebody where you're not getting the shots that you want, or you're not doing what you thought you were going to be doing. And I feel like that's what in the beginning, the first 2 years, St. Mike's really taught me a lot about the game, more, especially at the college basketball level, the little details, spacing, the level of intensity you got to have, and especially in the NE10, which is a pretty good conference, a lot of good teams. You got to bring that high level every night. So learning, sitting back, being thrown into it as a freshman, as a sophomore, kind of taught me a lot of roles, uh, how to play the game, better, more efficiently. And then by the time I was a junior and senior, when I had like more of a role, like more of a leadership role, looking to score more, looking to be utilized more, I kind of had experience from freshman and sophomore year, playing a different role that I could take into this more lead role now and use, and also understand the guys on the team that who's in which position I was in, what they need to do, kind of try to help them kind of navigate that journey. So it was all a learning experience that I was able to kind of use for myself and understand for others on my team to help them, go along the path so that we can be a good team together. We can all kind of, play our roles, do our things so that we can be a good team together. But yeah, my junior and senior year, we weren't too good. We ain't win too many games, but which was tough for me because I'm doing well, but we're not winning. And it kind of left a kind of certain taste in my mouth, having a good game, but when you lose by 20 or lose by 15, it don't really mean too much. But at the end of the day, if you got something on in your mind or you're set on something, I was set on being the best player on the court. I was set on showing that, I love this game. I love to play. I love to compete. I want to win. I want to try to win every time. So I'm going to go out there and do as much as I can every time. So it was a little tough my last 2 years, not winning a lot of games, but having a lot of individual success. But I think the experience in itself still just taught me so much. I think everything I try to use that in life and just in everything, not only just in basketball, but not really having losses, but having lessons, getting lessons from everything. So and using it as a stepping stone of growth to where you want to go, no matter what it is, a good situation or bad. And I think St. Mike's it was a mix of that. It was tough. It was fun times. I had my family coming to the games. I'm working hard. I'm playing well, but then we're losing. it's kind of confusing time, but ultimately it helped me learn a lot as a man off the court. Just knowing to put in, you gonna get out what you put in, even if things aren't going your way, or even if it doesn't look how you thought it was going to look. You got to continue to show up, continue to work hard, continue to be coachable, be humble, be be the person and the player that someone would want to, play with or coach or, see when they go out there, have that energy. Um, and ultimately I learned and took a lot of that kind of stuff, and that helped me grow into, being a professional at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's well said, man. And I gotta ask you because I've obviously seen you in person before, man, and you ain't the biggest person as far as height, man, but 1100, what you like,
Nah,
6'6", 6'7"? How tall are you?
nah, I'm like 6'5",
6'5".
6'5" on a good day. Yeah.
Bro, 6'5", 1100 rebounds is crazy. You know what I mean? Even now in Japan, like you play as like a big, almost like a 4'3". I mean, mostly as as a big. So talk to me about that, man. Like how you've been able to adapt being an undersized big and rebound and like just be tenacious. Cause it ain't too many dudes that's 6'5" and can pull that off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's about mentality, height and size, and it comes into play. It means a lot, but there's certain techniques or certain moves you can do to kind of help level the playing field when you're dealing with height and rebounding. But a lot of it's just about wanting the ball, wanting and just having that desire on the court. Not kind of settling or using your size and speed to your advantage. So that's what I would have to do a lot of the time, especially in Japan on the top level. I've had to kind of change my game and develop my game even more, being undersized 4'3", kind of on the wing, a little bit on the block, a little bit, just being everywhere around the court. But just being able to use my speed, being able to use my strength against bigger players, and also just having that mentality of this is what I want to do, this is what I'm gonna do. Like not letting someone kind of be able to stop me because they're 6'8", they're a little bit taller, but just trying to figuring out what do I need to do to kind of level the playing field. So yeah, I think the mentality though is a big part. You got to kind of just be ready to go out there and lay out there, lay everything out on the line, and be tough, be physical. You can't be getting pushed around or and you got to use that strength. You got to use your body so much, especially for the rebounds, man. I mean, it's tough. It's tough on your body and it's tough on your mental, but I kind of got used to it. And it's just fun. It's just something that I've always done, just kind of competing, hustling, going hard. So it's kind of just like second nature.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I gotta tip my hat, man. I gotta tip my hat. No cap, man. 1100
I,
rebounds at
I
6'5".
appreciate it.
Crazy. No cap, man.
I
That's
appreciate it.
time right there.
Yeah.
So I want to get into obviously the pro career now, man. In your first 2 years, you got off to a crazy start, obviously going to Denmark and France, and you won Player of the Year, Import of the Year, Forward of the Year, first team All League, man. And I feel like that's obviously what was able to kind of set you up to be able to go to Japan. But talk about those first
Mm-hmm.
years in Europe. You know what I mean? Being able to come out of St. Mike's, obviously you had a great career, great stats. So being able to you were in Denmark first. Um,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, Denmark first.
opportunity going to Denmark, and then kind of what those first couple of years in Europe are like, before you made that jump to Japan.
Yeah, it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. It was a new journey that I really didn't know too much about. I mean, you kind of get information from guys ahead of you who played or, kind of talk to your agent about it. But actually being in it, it was, I'll never forget kind of that experience because it was tough at first. Being away from home that far, being in a foreign country, language barrier. Well, in Denmark, they kind of spoke English, so it wasn't too much of a language barrier. But in France, I was in like a countryside kind of city, not too many people speaking English. But it was tough. Having to just eat, sleep, drink basketball, not have your family. And I mean, when I got out of Denmark, I was getting $1,000 a month. So it was like you ain't really playing for too much. You playing for the opportunity and to showcase yourself so that you can try to get to the next level or get to a higher salary, get to a better league. So especially coming out of St. Mike's Division II, we're not winning a lot of games, but I'm doing statistically well. They wanted to kind of see me play more, prove yourself a little bit more before you can go to these higher level teams and higher salaries. But it was tough being in Denmark. It's cold, rainy, you're away from home. And you just hooping really for not for free, but almost for free. Like, because that stuff, you still got to pay for food. You still trying to, live a little bit. $1,000 ain't going too far. So I appreciate my parents. They helped me out a little bit too in that realm. But I just came in there my first year just kind of with a similar mindset of just loving the game and wanting to work and see how far it can go, see how far it can take me. But it was one of the most challenging years of my life. That first year out, just being away and not knowing what's going to happen in the future, not knowing if it's going to pay off. But I just continued to put in the work and then play at a high level every time I went out there and played and ended up doing well. And they got me to France, which was a salary increase. It was a third level NM1, which I felt like I was like, I want to go play Pro B or I want to play Pro A. I feel like I'm ready to be at that level. But NM1 was still, it's still high level competition in there. I learned a lot, and I still really had to work on my game. I really wasn't shooting well or a lot at that time. I was still kind of in a mode of playing like more of a 4-5 when I'm not that tall. These guys are getting bigger and stronger. I need to be more 3-4. So it gave me the opportunity to work on a lot of my game a lot and improve as a shooter, improve as an overall player. So I knew that kind of coming. I knew that as I was on this journey. So I kind of looked at these teams and these opportunities as opportunities and chances to continue to grow my level of play or my skills while also showcasing the skills that I do have and doing well and showing that hustle, showing that grittiness, that style of play that I can bring to a team. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't fun all the time, but I'm thankful that I've had those experiences, and I'm thankful that I was able to go through these teams and those levels, so that now where I am now, I can still pull from those times and use those kind of those opportunities to even now. So, but it wasn't easy. Very tough to be out there by yourself, and people don't understand all that goes into the sacrifices you have to make. Your body, you practicing morning, night, afternoon. Your body's done. Your knees you got jumpers, knees. You still gotta go. The facility might not be all that ice. You might not have the trainers and all that kind of stuff. A lot of different things that go into it, especially coming from the lower levels. But if you gotta love the game, if you love the game, and if you love the challenge, if you love putting yourself to the test, I kind of fell in love with that, and just kind of put my head down and kept putting the one foot in front of the other and saying, if it's gonna work out, if this is for me, it's gonna show itself. I'm putting in the work. It's gonna put out I'm gonna get out what I put in. So I was putting in a lot of work, really working on my game, working on it when the game time comes, doing the best as I can, trying to put up numbers, but also win. Ultimately, I feel like it's about winning, and we were able to do that pretty much my first 2 years, and that really helped me, get to where I am, get to Japan, like you said.
Now, so you had 2 killer years in Europe, you know what I mean? And you mentioned after you left Denmark, you're like, I want to go to, Pro B or Pro A France. I feel like I'm on that level. And I was like, I said, importer of the year, player of the year after that second year in France. So what was the thought process as far as pivoting to Japan and not continuing to climb that ladder in Europe? Because a lot of people will say, like, once you go to Japan, you ain't coming back. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to go to Asia and respect Japan and this and that. You know what I mean? So like, was it just like a money thing? Like, oh, I'm gonna go to Japan and like they're gonna pay me, so I'm gonna go ahead and go over there. Or was it just like
Yeah.
kind of went that decision? Because it's almost like a trade off. Like you could keep climbing that ladder in Europe. Maybe you get to Champions League, Euro Cup, EuroLeague team. You know what I mean? In 4, 5, 6 years
Yeah.
in, or I can go take a payday in Japan and kind of just get to the money. Like, what was that process like for you during that time, trying to figure out what you were gonna do?
It was a combination of things. So, like you said, I had one player of the year, and naturally you would think, okay, let me go up to Pro B or try to go into Pro A. But I really give credit to my agents, Duran International, Emilio Duran, Bertrand. They were really kind of instrumental in helping me navigate what to do or what to kind of, and being honest with me about my career, what I need to work on, things I need to do. So I was kind of at a point where like, okay, season ended. What should I do? They said it's a camp in Vegas. Go to the camp. There's going to be a lot of teams there, Pro B, for like teams from Germany, teams from other countries, teams from South America, teams from Asia. Go to the camp. There's going to be G League guys there. It's going to be, high level competition. Go put yourself out there a little bit more, and just see what happens. See where it takes you, so that you can kind of get a bigger scope from outside of just NM1. So I was open to that, and I just wanted to see where it goes. And I mean, I felt like it was an opportunity that I didn't want to pass up, an opportunity to showcase some skills. And I went there and I did pretty well. And I was getting interest from South America. I was getting interest from, I can't even remember, like Argentina or some teams. And then, of course, Japan, new team was starting up. Saga Ballooners was starting up. So I was like, okay, it sounded like they started talking to me, talking to my agents, and then my agents was like, this is a opportunity to get in a market where we feel like your style, your play style, really can translate well to you, staying in that market. And I always wanted to find a place, a market, and not only a market but a team, a place that really, really wanted me and really showed that they want to, work with me. I felt like that was always important. Picking somewhere where you want it, not somewhere where it's like I know I can come in. I want to come in and do this, do that. But they really showed really good interest. Also in South America, which I haven't played yet, which I would love to play maybe one time in my career, go down to South America. But yeah, it was a combination of just finding comfortability, finding like kind of my market, finding the market that I feel like my play style could fit in. Also, the salary, of course, was going to be higher, so that went into the decision. Like, okay, I know Japan, they pay a little bit more, but at this time, I wasn't going to be making them crazy. I was just kind of breaking the ice and getting into the market. But yeah, it was a kind of combination of that and just my agents being like, this is an opportunity to get over there, get into the Asian market, where we feel like your play style can, flourish a little bit more and kind of lead you down a better a line in the future. But nothing against Europe or anything like that, because there's money in Europe and there's opportunities to find a market in Europe. It's just a little bit different than Asia. But I kind of was just trusting God and trusting the path, listening to what my agent had to say. I talked to my parents about it. And that's usually kind of the process I go about it. How do I feel about it? And then talk to my family, kind of get as much information as I can, talking to guys who played in Japan. I talked to a couple of guys who played in Japan before, talking to my agents, and really feel like I could trust what they were saying. And it just kind of worked out. I always had a dream of going to Asia. I want to go to China. I want to play in China or see what China is like. And then actually, Japan is talking to me and offering me. And I was like, okay, I mean, this is interesting. I ain't never really heard too much about Japan other than like Tokyo and like anime and all that kind of stuff. So just took the opportunity to experience something completely new. getting a market that I really wanted to, getting a market that I felt I could be good in, and also, get a little bit more money. And it ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made.
Yeah.
I got a kind of crazy story
Yeah.
about it. Well, this was well, it's kind of like when around my ACL time, but I tore my ACL. I tore my ACL my first year, 5 games into the season. So and then COVID happened. So this is the same time COVID happened. So I'm not gonna say it's a perfect time because you don't want to wish COVID or ACL tear on anyone, but I got hurt at the same time everyone else couldn't play. So it was kind of a good time to rehab. No one else is playing either. So I'm not really missing out on too much. But then I'm going back. So now I'm kind of at square like one again. I was getting into a market, but I got hurt, and now so I got to kind of start fresh. So I get a call. I'm at home. I'm rehab. I'm back. I'm trying to show teams that like, hey, I'm healthy again. But nobody really in Japan knows me. I mean, this is my first year out there, and I played 5 games. And so I'm like, I'm gonna have to go back to Europe. I'm gonna have to go back to square one and try to build up my like name again to get more interest. So I'll get a call from Portugal. It's top league Portugal, and it's like I think $2,000 a month or something like something low. And I'm just like, I mean, I don't really have much interest else or anything nowhere at this moment. And so I'm kind of down, I'm sad, but I'm just thankful for the opportunity because coming off of ACL, I'm like I want to play, and I realize I still got to build my name up. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take the deal in Portugal. I'm on the phone. I'm telling the coach, yeah, I'm gonna take the deal. Next thing you know, the Japan GM at the time, Tepe for Saga, he's like, we need a temporary player. We need a player to we signed Americans, but we need a temporary guy till they can be able to get here. So come play. Want to see how you're doing. We had a good relationship, and I was like, okay, and it was for more money, much more money than what I was gonna be making, and I can get my foot back into the Japan market. So I had to call the coach back from Portugal, be like, sorry, something came up, this is and that. And that's not really you don't really want to be doing that to coaches and teams telling them you coming and then like don't come or like about to sign and you don't sign. So I had to go through all that. I mean, it was just God really, because I was able to get back into the Japan market. And then I played we started off in B2 and I was just killing it. Then we ended up going to Kawasaki and then kind of took off from there. But it was just a crazy story, just how I mean, I feel like it was God just being in the right place at the right time, just having good people around me, give me an opportunity to kind of get back into the Japanese market and stay in the Japanese market. Because I could have been back in Europe.
Man, it's crazy when you think about like small decisions, like or small moments, not small decisions, but small moments could like change the course of your whole life and your whole
Whole
career.
life.
Like, imagine if you like, you know what, man, I already said yes to Portugal. I'm gonna just go back over there. I don't want to do a temporary thing. Who knows if we even have this conversation right now? You know
Who
what I mean?
knows?
It's crazy how that one decision has affected everything since then. You know what I mean? And
Crazy.
obviously that year, I know you went to like you see Kawasaki. I think you went to Kobe after that, did a couple of temp deals, but then you
Mm,
went in Nagasaki, which is I feel like the time where you obviously were able to really like make a name for yourself in Japan and like settle roots.
mm,
And you know, for people who don't understand too, Nagasaki was a new team coming to the B3. And y'all really
yeah.
that's the whole system. B3, B2, B1, 3.
Yeah.
So talk about how that opportunity came about, man, because I feel like, again, I'm in Okayama, so I'm on the outside looking in. People telling me,
Yeah.
bro, man, you missed it last year. It was these two teams came in, Nagasaki and Chiba. And they had all this
Jeez.
bread. They signed all these B1 dudes and went right up. We had no chance. So talk
Nah.
to me about that opportunity, man, how that came about, man. And when you're hearing this opportunity about this new team coming in, they got all this money,
Mm,
like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
yeah.
for situations, ride the wave, you know, all the way. You know what I mean? Like, So
Right. Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, it was interesting how it came about because like you said, I bounced around three teams in 1 year that year. I started off with Saga, then I went to Kawasaki, and then I went to Nishinomi at the time with this Kobe Storks. But I was doing really well at all the teams, especially in Nishinomi. I feel like I was able to kind of break out and show a lot of the skills that I've been working on coming off of ACL. Um, my bad, this Joan. I don't know if you can hear. Is it too
Yeah,
loud?
it's like I think you must have got the noise cancellation or something because I don't hear nothing.
Uh, okay, no, it's cool then. But yeah, so towards the end of Nishinomiya season, um, I was like, am I going to go back? I kind of wanted to go back to Nishinomiya, but then my agent was like, yo, this is B3 team, they're offering this. They're gonna have high level players on the team as well. They're looking to move up. And so I was like, and it's kind of a new it's a new organization, of course. So they're starting from the ground up, building a foundation. And they communicated to me they want to play this certain style, to play fast, they want to play aggressive, they want to run. And I was like, that's all the things that I love to do, I want to do. I feel like I do really well. It fits my style. So I thought, I didn't really want to go back to B3, to be honest. But the opportunity and just seemed like the right fit. They had a presentation and all this kind of stuff. But Takuma, the GM and the coach at the time, relayed a message that how he wanted to use me. And it just felt like a really good fit. And also the money, of course, being a lot higher, being pretty good. Of course, that's
That
gonna
always
that's
that always
gonna
helps. That always helps.
yeah, that always helps. So I learned that Jeff Gibbs was going there, Javier Carter when we was in B3, and I was like, I had seen them play on the B1 level, and I was like, okay, yeah, these are high level guys. I feel like we'll have a good team. And then also bringing in a bunch of good, really good high level Japanese guys. I was like, okay, this could be a situation that I feel like we can flourish in, really make some noise, and kind of accomplish the goals that they wanted to. So yeah, I ended up going there, and we just kind of took off. Like we worked hard, we became really close knit, and of course Chiba was on the other side, kind of in the same situation, getting B1 guys, high level guys, and trying to move up fast. But that's really kind of how it worked out, and I was just thankful for the opportunity and for just to be considered to be brought on. I was just thankful for that, and I think the play style, the mentality that they wanted to have, and the type of team they wanted to build really fit. We kind of worked well together. So it was kind of just like God, just finding the right situation, which I feel like is really important. Going where you want it kind of goes back to go where you want it, and go to where what really fits you, not really what this team, they got this name across their chest, or they're known for this. Um, kind of going where I was really wanted, and I felt like I could be effective. And Nagasaki really was that for me.
Yeah. Now you guys were able to accomplish all the goals that you guys set out to, man. Going from B3 to B1, 3 consecutive years, and obviously you won MVPs, won championships, got promotions and things like that. I just want to give you opportunity to reflect on the last 3 years that you spent there, and just what the time there was like for you. And looking back 3 years later on all you've been able to accomplish since then, and where the club is at now. Being a B1 team on that level, man, and you having a huge part and obviously getting them there. How you reflect on your time, with Velca.
Man, I have nothing but good to say. I mean, it was a blessing from the beginning for us to kind of join together. I feel like it was a good match. The management and the coaching staff, everyone kind of was really helpful, really family oriented, which was different to see. For an overseas team, like they really kind of took care of you, made sure all your needs was met, and if you had anything, they really was there. But it was just I learned so much, and I feel like no matter what situation I go through, I'm trying to pick up certain things. But I just learned so much from the Japanese guys, from the coaches, from the imports that was there, and it was just kind of feeding off each other and it just growing together. I feel like we really, we just really worked hard essentially and played together. We grew together off the court, on the court, which really helped, was instrumental in our success on the court. But I don't know. I mean, just reflecting back on it, just looking, it hasn't really all hit me yet. It kind of, because I'm leaving. This will be my first year leaving them, and I feel like it still hasn't really hit me that, like, that time with Velca is done, because just all that we've been through, all that we were able to accomplish, winning the B3, winning B2. We got the B2. We weren't really expected to. We were kind of expected to win, but Saga was having a really good year that year, and Chiba was, of course, having a really good year. We were like third or fourth in that time. We weren't really expected to kind of go up, and then we beat Chiba in the semifinals and was able to go up. But it was just, I mean, the journey was just, I don't even have words for it. It was just, I just have so much gratitude to the situation, to everything that went on, because you couldn't have planned it. I think we had the goal, of course, hey, let's go from B3 to B1, but for it to kind of work out and come to fruition was just, I mean, I feel like God and just the work that we put in, the camaraderie that we were able to build and put onto the court. All the Japanese guys, Leon, Masa, a lot of guys were instrumental, and especially Kanji, instrumental into bringing everyone closer, having that kind of close knit feel, so that when we go on the court, man, we fire, we connected. Things go bad, it's not going bad because we all locked in, we all intertwined, and we got each other's back. So I really appreciate that, the atmosphere and the togetherness that we were able to create there. I feel like it was really instrumental into getting us to getting them to be one. So it's sad, to be honest, leaving. But business, how basketball goes, business, and opportunities, and certain agendas of things they want to do, things I want to do. I will get into that another time, maybe more down the line of how all that kind of stuff goes. But just, I feel like just gratitude to Nagasaki as a whole, the community. I mean, the fans were amazing. The community was also super welcoming. But we were able to accomplish and bring basketball to a part of Japan that didn't really know too much about basketball, and we were able to do it at a high level and we made history. I mean, going B3 to B1 that fast, and yeah, it's such a time to be thankful for. Just blessed.
100%. Now, obviously, stepping into a new chapter, moving on to Osaka, man. And what are you most looking forward to about getting there, playing in Osaka? Obviously, probably the second largest city in Japan, a wonderful cultural opportunity, man, and obviously a good club as well, man. So, what are you looking forward to about this new chapter with Osaka for the fans who might be listening?
What do I look forward to the most? I just look forward to kind of just getting acclimated to the city, to the area. I feel like that's really important before the basketball, because I mean, you will be living there for 10 months. So it's like you kind of want to get a good feel for where you at and what you're gonna be doing. And my wife will be there too, so it's not just me, it's my family. But I'm excited to compete. I mean, Osaka's, like you said, it's a bigger market team. I feel like it's a big city. It had success in the past, and it's a new situation. So just kind of get familiar, get comfortable with the city, but also the guys, the staff, the coaches, the teammates. That's always a part I really look forward to, because it's really important. Just feeling comfortable where you work, having a relationship with the coaches, with the fans, with the teammates. just having a relationship with all those people, because I can't work with where I'm just like, okay, I'm just coming to do this job of basketball. I either actually enjoy, where I'm going or the people I'm going to be around every day for the next 10 months. So I look forward to just meeting everyone, getting a feel for how everyone does things, and just kind of showcasing and improving my game, and helping them, accomplish the goals that they want to accomplish. But yeah, I look forward. I heard they got. I mean, I know they got good food in Osaka. I know they got plenty of views, plenty of things to do. So I'm excited to kind of explore and get into the city. Eat some good Japanese food, of course.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I want to ask you,
Yeah.
man, because we talked a lot about your journey, man, from high school and being a late bloomer, going to Division II, having to sit first 2 years, and going to Europe, coming to Japan, tearing your ACL, man. And I feel like it's all culminated to this point now, like I said, where you established yourself as one of the best players in Japan. Like I said, you won championships, you play at the highest level, and I kind of want to give you opportunity to reflect, man, on what you've been able to accomplish. You know what I mean? Because again, I feel like as a guy who came out of DMV, man, the names of guys is long. Yeah, I've played professional basketball,
Yeah.
and I feel like your journey has gone super under the radar, which is why I wanted to get you on the podcast to be able to, number one, give you your flowers and give you opportunity to really reflect on how far you've come. You know what I mean? But I want to ask you, how
Mhm.
do you reflect on what you've been able to accomplish in your career thus far, man? Sitting where you are and coming from Denmark, man, making $1,000 a month, to where you're at now. You know what I mean? Like, how you reflect
Yeah.
on the journey and everything you've been able to accomplish.
Um, well, at first, first thing I always think about, I just thank God just for the opportunity and the position that I'm in, because I wouldn't be here without him, and he's only the reason I'm here, because things went ways that, I mean, you couldn't. It's not like luck. It wasn't like, or just happenstance. I mean, it had to been God for me to end up here, and seeing like the time, like you said, the talented guys from our region. So many talented guys I played with. Some aren't playing now, or had a situation where something off the court affected them and they can't play, or stuff on the court. Just so many different things. So I just look at it with so much gratitude. Looking back, I feel like I haven't really uh, fully taken on all that's kind of happened within my career. But when I do kind of think about what I've accomplished or where I'm going or what I've been through, um, I just try to have gratitude and just learn from at each instance. Like I said earlier, just even if it was a bad time, rough time, I've had times where I doubted myself, not having great games or things like that. But just using it as learning lessons so that going forward, um, I don't make the same mistake twice. But I just feel like I'm really blessed. God has shown favor. And also I put in a lot of work to get to where I am now. I think that things happen for a reason, and I'm here for a reason. And I'm just trying to continue to do what God has planned for me. But coming out of DMV, coming out being low under the radar, I never really saw it in that scope so much. I just saw it as, me doing what I love, me playing this game at a high level every time I step out there, and pushing myself to see how far I can go. And really, in the process of that, all this has happened. Velca, getting to this opportunity, winning championships, winning individual awards, and all that kind of stuff, which never really was the goal for me, which never really was the like why I'm doing what I'm doing. But it's all blessings, and I'm thankful for them recurring. But it's just a part of the journey, and I'm still going along the journey. I don't really like to fully look back until like maybe when I'm done. But just gratitude and just I feel taking, I don't know the word, but just learning, I guess, continuing to learn. I'm still learning from this time on as I go forward now to Osaka. So yeah, I mean, just thankful for you, bro. Just having me on the podcast, being able to think about some of this kind of stuff, talk about some of this kind of things, because it's not easy. And for if anyone wants to, talk or see it, or who's going through it themselves, um, I'm sure they understand that this journey can go left, right, up, down. It's not easy, but just using everything as a learning lesson and doing the little things at a high level all the time, building good habits, really kind of is separate from the journey because it's about yourself. It entails having discipline and doing things with yourself, but it'll correlate with where you're going to go in life because it'll show up in all instances, in basketball, in off the court, in your relationship, kind of doing things right, learning from mistakes, which everyone's going to make, and just continue to put one foot in front of the other and doing what you love, but doing whatever you're doing at a high level. So yeah, I think that's what it's taught me. I'm thankful for you, bro. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep going and trusting God.
No doubt, man. I thought that's a perfect way to leave it, man. And I know you got to run here soon, so I won't take too much of your time, man. But just to let you know, like I said, man, we're super proud of you. Super honored to be able to have another guy from the DMV playing on a high level. I'm super grateful for you coming on the podcast, man, and sharing your story. The first one, so I'm glad we can say that. We were the first ones to get my guy on the podcast and share the story,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Forward to seeing everything you accomplished in Osaka going forward, man. Like, hopefully we'll get a chance to get some bump in or get some work in back home in the DMV one of these summers. You know what I mean?
For sure.
No
For
doubt,
sure,
doubt.
man. I appreciate you having me, man. And when you get back, you gotta let me know you still out there. So
Yeah,
let me know when you back, man. We gotta get up.
for sure, man. Now, the last question we always ask our guests on the What's in Your Bag podcast is, who should we have next on the show? And whoever you say, it's the caveat. Whoever you say, you got to get in your point guard bag and give us the assist and help us get him on the show.
Hey, who should I think get Jeff Gibbs on here
Yeah,
because
that'd be a good one. That'd be a
I
good one.
mean his journey, he's from D3 to playing in Japan for 12 plus years, maybe. So Jeff, make sure you get on this podcast, All Facts. Man, it's crazy to watch your journey, and it's crazy to been able to watch his journey. Because I watched it from afar a little bit, and then ultimately ended up playing with him. But great guy, older guy, so he's got a lot of more experience and more lessons that he can share. But I feel like he'll be really good for the podcast.
Yeah, I remember y'all two were together when I met y'all in Tokyo that night. You know what I mean? So we definitely can make that happen.
Yeah,
We'll wrap after the
yeah,
show.
for sure.
See if we can make that
Yeah,
happen.
I'll make sure I put him on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys, this has been another episode of the What's in Your Bag podcast presented by Bet Online. As always, remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend about the good gospel going down here at the What's in Your Bag podcast. It's gonna be my guy Pup Tay on the outro. Until next time, folks. Peace.
Appreciate y'all.
Suave, 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 suave. I've been in my bag for a while, I'm invincible. Story of a young boss, grinding shit get critical. Calling on my bros one time, cause you special. I had some hoop dreams of right rounds for my mentor. Every target that I shoot is on point like a pencil. Different route, change relationships, I'm so sorry. Came up from the trenches and I made it, I say hardly. Now